Hello everyone, welcome back to my bullet journal. Today I'm showing you my 2020 setup in my new journal, the Nuuna S size in pearl grey. It's really pretty because it's so holographic. Starting with the title page where I used some craft paper that I just ripped out of a craft paper notebook and then writing 2020 on top of it with a pencil first. And I thought for this year or the coming year it would be nice to have it all lettered out instead of using the numbers. So now I'm going in with my Staedtler pigment liner in the dip size 0.3, but then I realized it was way too thin to see it properly on top of the craft paper, so I went in again with the bigger tip size, the 0.5 tip size from the same pen line, and then I wrote 2020. I really like the mix of materials in this spread, and in the coming spreads of the setup I like to use craft paper once in a while, spice up the pages instead of using a lot of colors and stickers and things like that. So now we're going over to the next page to create a key page for my bullet journal. I don't always have a key page in my new bullet journals because I've been using a bullet journal for I think 4 years now. I know how my tasks and appointments look like, but I thought it would be a nice touch to have this page in this new journal as well. So I just wrote down key on the top of the page, and then I'm writing down the different types of tasks. A blank square is just a task that needs to be done, and if I fill it out, it's done. If I cross it out, it's cancelled. If I put an arrow in it, it's moved or rescheduled to another day. A small dot is an appointment, and a little line stands for a thought. I didn't use the thoughts before, but I thought for the next year I wanted to start using this bullet journal more as a journal as well, so I can track my thoughts of the day, and maybe I can write some more facts about that on the page, so I can have more of a daily journal, if you know what I mean. But I'll show you how I do it in the future when I start using those journal pages in January. On the next page to the key, I put this little quote that I found in my inventory. It says "C'est la vie," and I thought it was pretty fitting to the page design, and also it rhymes with key. So that's why I put it there, and then I'm doodling around it just a little bit to make a more cohesive spread. I'm still using the Staedtler pigment liner in 0.3 for those little doodles, and for the big lettering I'm always using the tip size 0.5. When you put some more materials in your bullet journal, then make sure that they don't interfere with the binding of the book. Keep it a few millimeters away from the binding so you can open and close the book nicely. Just a little tip by the way. Now we're going over to the next page where I'm starting my future log. A future log is shortly a calendar for the next year, so you have spaces for each month, and on this page I will have the months from January to June, and in the middle I'm creating a floral design just to make the page more pretty and dainty. First off, I'm lining the petals of the flowers with my pigment liner in 0.5 tip, and then I'm going in with the same pen just to create more depth and more contrast in the painting. I'm adding some more little lines at the bottom of each petal and on the top, so it looks more natural and more like a real flower. When you're trying to paint flowers, you can always look up floral art or floral designs, maybe on Pinterest or Google Art, and then you can find many images where you can get some inspiration. I also found this middle flower, something like this, not the same flower but a similar design on a Pinterest photograph, and then I added some more leaves and the little bud on the bottom left of the big flower, and I really like how it turned out and how it separates the month. Now I'm writing in my handwriting January to June. And then I'm putting the monthly calendar below each one of those. For the monthly calendar, I'm using a very fine tip size. I'm using the 0.05 tip size because I think it looks more dainty and it's easier to write the numbers. Since I'm only setting up my bullet journal right now, I didn't put any dates, important dates next to them, but in the future I will mark birthdays and vacation and other important dates in my future log, so I can always go back to those 2 pages and look at what's to come for the next month. It's really nice to work in my Nuuna journal because I had one of those about a year ago and I really liked it. And if you want to see more spreads in a Nuuna notebook, then you can check out my Instagram account at Bujojane to see a lot more spreads in the Nuuna journal. On this spread I created 3 flowers. I wanted to have another floral design but not the same. This time I created some anemones, I don't know how to say it in English, anemone, it's in German, which are very pretty flowers, and then I put some little leaves beside them to connect the 3 flowers. In the same way as on the first flower, I'm drawing the petals first, and then I'm dotting in the middle of the flowers. I don't know how it's called in English. This is where the flower seeds are, so I'm dotting in a lot of little dots next to the middle of the petals, and then I'm drawing in some more lines on the flowers so they look more realistic as well. After that I'm adding some more little lines on the leaves as well to make them look more interesting and more realistic as well. Now we're creating the borders for the month, and then I'm writing the month again in my cursive handwriting. The future log is also a great way to have all the events that are coming on one page, or in this case 2 pages, and it keeps all of these events in one place. When I'm planning the month, I always have monthly pages and then weekly or daily pages, but if I want to see what's happening over the whole year, I can always go back to this future log to see everything. But if you're more of a monthly planner, you can also have a future log for each month in front of every month. If you're, for instance, planning for January, the future log of February next to it, so you can always plan ahead for the next month. So after creating these pages, I'm showing you the summary of my designs. I think the craft paper gives a very interesting touch to it, since it looks a little unfinished and raw. And I really love the floral designs. I can put flowers and leaves on every page of my bullet journal, that's no problem for me. I really like how it looks. I couldn't fit all of the setup in one video, otherwise this video would have been about 30 minutes long. So if you want to see the rest of the setup, please stay tuned for next week's video. And I hope you like this one. And if you do, then please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!